Welcome back. We are here with the toss for our women's semi-final. Ladies.
Yeah, all right. You ready? Down. Defense. Defense, please. We'll take that end. Easy. Please. All right. Well, cool. Good luck again. You too.
Okay, Molly, unable to win the toss this time round. That's 2 in a row that you haven't won.
Oh, that's fine. We got what we wanted anyway, so we're happy with that.
Okay, big semi-final against Manly. Not the game you wanted though.
No, it isn't. We were anticipating for a completely different matchup for this game, but our team is super adaptable, so we're just ready to fight to get to that final.
All right, well, good luck in the semi, and I hope you make it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Over to you, Chantel.
Holly Reeves, co-captain of Manly. What are your thoughts on the toss?
We're, as always, we've been pretty comfortable getting defence on our toss. We've actually got very lucky. We've got it every time this tournament so far, mostly because the other person either doesn't call it or, chooses offence. So we've been very fortunate to get defence again.
Yes. And you've been coming up against Rogue a lot lately. What are your thoughts about this semi-final?
I think in the lead up to this tournament, we have played Rogue a bunch because they're one of our Sydney teams, and we've actually won all our games, but they haven't necessarily been easy. They've been a real grind, and the wind definitely makes it a much more even playing field because everyone's kind of battling the wind rather than just each other. So I think we're feeling confident, feeling good. We had a great 2 games this morning, but it definitely is going to be something we have to earn, not just expect. So looking forward to it.
What are we expecting to see from your players in this game?
I think a lot of hype, a lot of big kind of movement on defence. And we're going to try and be a bit more clinical on offence, get it onto the high side of the pitch so that we're not getting blown away by the wind. So lots of movement.
If I'm correct, I believe you've got a lot of strong throwers on both sides of the teams. Do you think that'll mean you're having a bit more of a longer game, or are you still trying to play a short game?
I think we have both sides strong throwers and both sides strong receivers and therefore defenders. So I don't think the long game will necessarily be one way, but definitely with the downwind direction, we will be seeing a lot of hucks going up towards the end zone behind us. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. Good luck out there. Give us a show. We'll see you soon. Cheers. We're going to cut to a quick break, and then we will hand over to our commentators, Laura and Simon.
What is spirit of the game?
It's knowing the rules and when they apply.
It's avoiding body contact wherever possible.
It's keeping a positive attitude and enjoying the sport.
It's being fair-minded even when the game is on the line.
It's communicating respectfully with your opponent.
Ultimate is a non-contact team sport, with 7-a-side on the field and played with a flying disc.
The field is 100 metres long, including 18-metre end zones, and is 37 metres wide.
A goal is scored by completing a pass in the end zone.
Ultimate is self-refereed.
Players are responsible for upholding the rules and for resolving fouls and violations themselves.
Each point starts with a pull.
Teams line up in opposing end zones, and the defensive team will throw to the offensive team to start play.
After every goal, teams swap ends.
The team that scored starts the next point on defense.
The disc is moved around the field by throwing it to teammates.
Once players have the disc, they set a pivot foot like netball or basketball and can't move from there.
Players have 10 seconds to throw the disc.
This is counted out loud by the closest defender.
An incomplete pass is a turnover, no matter who touched it last.
When a foul or violation call is made, players will discuss whether they agree on what happened.
If they agree, the call is uncontested and the fouled player retains possession.
If they don't agree, the call is contested and play resets to where the last completed pass was.
If a player anticipates a collision with another player, they can call pick to pause the play.
If the pause didn't affect the outcome of a throw, play resumes.
If it did affect the outcome, play resets to the last completed pass.
First to 15 goals wins the game.
If the game clock reaches 100 minutes, time cap is called and the score target is reduced to one more than the current winning score.
For example, if the score at time cap is 12-10, the new target score is 13.
You can't run the clock down. Teams have to score the last goal to win the game.
And welcome back to the coverage of the Australian Ultimate Championships on Kayo Sports. Your weekend Kayo Freebie. Simon Tolbert here with Laura Hutton.
Good afternoon. We are back here with a rematch from yesterday. Manly and Rogue, both hailing from Sydney, re-meeting in this semi-final here today.
So we'll take a look at the Manly squad first.
So on the Manly squad, we will be looking for Captain Diana Warman and other Captain Holly Reeve to be moving the disc around quite a lot. Number 9, Nicole Shires. Look out for her on the D-line. She loves good defence. Also, number 36, Taylor Carty, a little bit of an up-and-comer. This her first Division 1 Nationals. Looking now to Rogue.
Rogue in the white jerseys today. Number 8, Rhea Carpenter. We saw her with plenty of long throws, looking for tall targets yesterday. Her main targets today will be Simone Ryan, number 33, and Claire Bartram, number 44, so keep an eye out for them. Also keep an eye out for number 28, Mandy Lee on defence. So we hear the siren go to get us underway. Rogue in the white jerseys on screen. Manly wearing their black, green and aqua.
That's right. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams come out. They play each other quite a lot, having played each other earlier this season. Also having met up yesterday where Manly managed to get the win 15-12.
Manly in an absolute barnstorm of a pool play game earlier this morning against Ellipsis. Being the closest to take them down. First pull goes up. Rogue to start the game on defence. The wind has dropped off a little bit. We expect it to be a somewhat still afternoon, so expect plenty of clean action. Chung. Bub flips it up to Edgar. Edgar flies it through the middle looking for Weir, who has to change course but reels it in. Pumps a low flat one in the end zone looking for Ryan, who was one out there with Shires.
Our first turnover of the game so far as Manly now get a chance on offense.
He's put too much on that, probably just nerves. We'll see them settle as the game closes in. Chen with her first touch. Looks back to Shires. Manly running that vertical formation, cut us down the field and then moving out to either side. Great catch, one-handed trailing edge catch there from Chen. Back to Shires. Pumps the big throw up. Looking for Lacey Moore.
Both teams sticking to a tight person-to-person defence here. As the wind tries to pick up.
Edgar inboard to an unguarded Weir. This is back up to Ryan. Ryan's looking, she's got 3 going deep, but all adequately covered. Bartram, 15 from goal, puts it up the line. Simone Ryan, far too quick for her defender. And Rogue get the first one on the board.
And a lovely low release there for the assist, going underneath her defender into that corner.
Rogue a lot steadier with their throws on their second possession there. Their first possession felt very, very rushed, very sort of quick. Oh, let's get going, let's get going.
Yeah, the big nerves of a semi-final. Like we heard, Rogue not expecting to come up against this team, but this is the way that the draw has landed, so they face each other again.
Of course, the upset earlier today. GWS knocking off Factory, putting them out of contention.
What a nail biter that match was, Simon, right down to the wire.
Of course, their semi-final taking place against Ellipsis. We'll give you some score updates from them when we can get them. In the meantime, we're focused here.
Rogue pulling into the wind. The breeze still moving from the left to right of screen. A little bit more gusty than this morning.
Definitely more settled since an hour ago. It's going to allow Carpenter to get plenty of distance on that. Lands right next to the brick mark. Guy Warman puts the early shot up into the lap of Alicia Bombarderi. Half a step from the goal line, resets to Wentworth. Wentworth's going to look to this near side. Guy Warman catches it, still out of the end zone. Tries to find a one-on-one match. Resets, Wentworth pushes to the high side. There's numbers out there for Manly. Perryman back to Warman. Inside shot, a few players underneath it. And Alicia Bombarderi is the one to clean it up at the back. Not the intended target, but put enough spin on those throws, they'll hover in the air for as long as you need them to.
Yeah, that was really nice. Manly recognising that they had a couple of players on that near side that weren't able to clear out, so they moved the disc back across the field, had a look at the other side of the field before deciding to bring it back to the centre and score the goal there.
As you can see there, it's really spread out that Rogue defence and left that space in the middle, and Wentworth was the target there, and Manly able to clean it up.
Great heads-up awareness there. Any disc in the air is yours to catch.
Yep. There's never a reason to not try and catch the disc when you're on offense or defense.
That's the attitude you've got to have, especially in a big matchup like this. We expect it to be quite tight, and so far, scores are equal, 1-1.
Of course, Rogue 2015 National Championships. They'd love to see that success again. Manly, one step off last championships, 2 years ago. Now they got caught out there. So both are very familiar, both clubs are very familiar with these situations. Of course, Manly enjoyed plenty of success in the 2000s as well. Edgar pumps it out long to Ryan, who's completely unguarded on the under. I think that's going to let her move towards the disc and take her out of the equation as a long target. Floaty one over the top. Bub calls it in. That's hers. Ryan. Very comfortable with the disc as well. A pick called in the stack. I think it was... Saw the signal there from the players virtually as that disc was caught. So Ryan will still have that full measure. I think Georgia Ewan and Amy Chang just deciding where they were as that pass was completed. So players will reset. So there's only 2 Rogue players ahead of the disc at the moment. We can see Molly Valancourt on the left, and I think it's Helen Epstein up there. No. Play restarts, Chung. Long loopy backhand over the top into the lap of Georgia Ewan.
Taking advantage of the lack of wind there to throw a high release, jumping over 3 or 4 of the Manly defenders.
We've seen a couple of goals there at the very back of that end zone.
We have Daniel from the sideline. Daniel, what are you seeing?
I just checked up on the Ellipsis final. On the other side, they're up 2-0 against GWS.
Already, they just started.
That's the score.
There you go.
Couple of quick ones on the board for Ellipsis. We will continue to bring you those scores as we move through this afternoon's game. Looking at these lines, Manly going to come down on offense. Rogue having to mount a defensive line against Manly coming downwind.
We saw that throw again from Chung, perfectly weighted. I think George Ewan probably was just giving her a nod or a point and said, I'm free at the back here.
Really showcasing those connections they've been able to build over this season, training and competitions.
Rhea Carpenter. So pause, we hear the second whistle indicating that the offense needs to be ready. Of course, the defense already being set, happy to send it up. Perryman, unguarded, so as long as she wants, but spots Wentworth under double coverage there, but clean take. Cardi. Finds Warman, but Branda Lamb straight underneath her arm.
Lovely run through defense there, showing good intensity.
And they'll get their first upwind look. Rhea Carpenter walking to the disc. Very spread out all over the field. They've isolated Maddie Owen. She's going to have to dive. And that disc just died in flight.
It did there.
Owens was a prime target for them yesterday on those deep throws, so
She was.
they'll definitely look for that again.
And as the captains mentioned, good receivers also make good defenders. An ability to read the disc and get in good position underneath it, useful on both offense and defense.
Manly's cut is all very deep here, plenty of space towards the disc, and it's gone over the hands of everyone. Not many short options for Di Warman, so just had to send it early. Carpenter finds Weir, he's fumbled it. Wentworth knocks it away. Says, why have you hit this to me? I don't want it. Perryman. Couple of options coming towards her. That's Cardi going full stretch. Bounces straight back up. There's a nice little forehand down the line to Sarah Wentworth. Wentworth looking to move it laterally, but didn't have any options, so finds Michelle McDonough.
Everybody just establishing where they were when the call was made.
Short to Warman. Branda Lamb confidently taking that one-on-one matchup. Owens goes tall early. And Hannah Chen on the second go.
Good effort there to stay with that disc, not give up, and eventually pulled it down.
She saw Owens go early, and I think she thought, you know what, she might miss this, and if I hang back here. As you see, Sue Cutters take off at the back there, and Owens was able to peel off her assignment. Yeah, had to go up early, and Amber Richards also there in support. Chantel. We'll get her back in a second. So we see that throw again from Warman, this time from the sideline perspective. Oh, Maddie Owens, she had to really get some height there.
She did. What a great effort to get in front, get the position. As we see Rogue using a horizontal look, stretching their players across the field rather than up and down it to try and maximize the cuts that they're going to be able to get.
They do that to open up space, not only between the cutters and the disc, so there's no sort of traffic, but also deep space as well. So defenders can't just peel off and create 2-on-1s or 3-on-1s. Chung winds up the big backhand. She's got Barcham looking to be on the end of it. Definitely got a couple of metres on a defender. Goes full stretch. Reels it in.
Maintains control despite leaving her feet and hitting the ground hard.
At the end of a 50-metre sprint, still had enough in the legs to launch herself forward. Get two hands underneath it.
Amazing athleticism on display there as we watch the replay again.
Oh. That's a terrific grab. Left Amy Barnes in her wake, and it was only just her versus gravity. Rogue, their third goal.
The score's now 3-2. Rogue only ahead by 1. Quite a tight contest.
Chantel.
Point before now where Rogue were just scored on, they came out firing with a really positive attitude, lots of positive chat from each of the players led by Sarah Perkins, and that positive attitude definitely paid off, getting them the goal.
Weir with the ball. It's going to roll for a bit of extra distance. Trapped there by Perryman. Tupper. It's found Reeve. Reeve sends the long backhand up. That's going to drift long and left. Weir straight away right out of the hand, went to that position. The Manly receivers lost that in flight.
They did. Manly now get a chance at offense, but they are going to have to do it out of that corner where the wind just wants to take that disc back out.
You see that diagonal formation that's really become popular in the last couple of years. As a means to working off that sideline, gives you up the line shots, but great defensive pressure. Brenda Lamb finally finds space. Manly really being aware of that formation and doing everything they could to cover options. Carpenter. Wide lateral to Owens. Mandy Lee, she's put it up high. Sarah Perkins is going to run this one down. What options she's got upfield? She's got Ruiz, pops that one high. Tupper's there underneath it, and that's faded away from Ruiz. Just
quite a bit of angle on that throw, Simon.
Way too much angle. She just, I think, wanted to put it high and over her marker, but not a great choice. Holly Reeve just sends the forehand long, but straight into the lap of Perkins for a clean intercept. Quickly moves it to Weir. Carpenter. Wide backhand. Ruiz. Option in the middle. Mandy Lee has to go with one hand.
Just put it on the off foot.
Yeah, very hard to catch those trailing edge ones. Reeve just wants the distance. With a flat mark, has to go wide to Tupper. Tupper. No time on the clock. Can take any shot she wants. Looks for Kershaw. Perkins there underneath it, and that's drifted very, very wide of where the Manly would have liked it to be.
It has, and I wonder whether we'll see that same diagonal stack. Teams usually designating specific cuts to positions in that stack. The first person in that stack will always go one direction, the second always going another.
Reverted that horizontal formation. Reyes just centered as she spotted the mismatch. Kayo Weir having about 10 metres there on Wentworth, even with time for her to catch up. Owens. Lamb. She's got to look up the line at the corner of the end zone. Rui's not quite in. Only a metre away. And finds space up the line. Mandy Lee with pace.
What a beautiful sequence of throws that was from Rogue there. Really hitting their targets, making sure that the throws came out at the right angle.
And Rogue get the first defensive conversion of the game. Daniel.
Score update from the far field. Ellipsis currently up 4-1.
Over GWS, of course, as we saw them in a nail biter before.
Heartbreaking for Factory that after competing so hard all weekend to be knocked out of top 4 contention by a very strong GWS in a game that really went down to the wire.
Shows just how competitive the women's division is in Australian Ultimate. So we see here two of the storied franchises of the sport.
Both Manly and Rogue having a mix of experience and fresh talent on their lineups.
Weir keeps that long and flat. That's going to hang for a long time and allow their defense to set up. Warman having to wait for it to drop. The Cutters are very far away. They've now reacted and moved in. Reeve with a wonderful backhand throw. Moore fakes the backhand. Get the defense off guard. Taking her time. The stall count started late, so she's not in any hurry. Holly Reeve. Also on a quick 1-2 with Warman. Warman had a quick look upfield while Reeve found position. Warman bombs it up long, looking for Taylor Carty. Has to come in board to cut it off. And Manly head upwind. Keep the score at 3-all.
What a point there, and what a throw from Diane Warman on that far sideline, arcing out of the way of defenders being able to interfere with it.
I can't remember who took the shot. A similar shot from Manly went up that line earlier, and it really just died at the last second. But this time, Taylor Carter, you see her, she's got that step on her defender, but then she pauses and then comes inside her. Just to cut that off early, and I can't see who the defender was there, but they had a good bit at it.
We sometimes call that attacking the disc, where you make sure to run through and collect that disc, not shying away from it or staying stationary.
Don't wait for it to come to you, because someone else behind you also wants it. 3-3, the score.
Tight game, almost going point for point here.
The clock ticks over, 18 minutes in. Second whistle goes. Shire sends the pull up. Plenty of hang time on this one. This is one that is going to land almost in Rogue's own end zone. Edgar lets it hit the ground. Allows enough time for Manly to set their defence. Ryan pops it up the line. Bartram has to wait for it. It's Valancourt, unguarded. She's 10 from goal now. Sends the leading pass up. Comes in and met by Simone Ryan. Easy as you like. Was that a zone look from Manly?
It was difficult to tell because they didn't really get a chance to set up. It looked like it might have tried to be a zone down around the disc, but Rogue moving that disc so effectively through it that all players were behind just trying to catch up.
Yeah, like there was enough hang time on the pool to really set it. And yeah, I think Valancourt just broke away unguarded, and I think that just really opened up everything for them. Manly were less scrambling. Great little leading pass there.
Was just enough touch to hang in front and just enough angle to ensure that she gave her receiver the advantage there.
Bartram was the one who threw that 40-metre gainer. Ryan very happy with that one. Chantel.
We did watch these two teams go head-to-head the other day. Rogue actually have two players on the field in this game that had to sit out due to injury, and that is Sarah Perkins and Georgie Ewan. They're definitely having an effect out there.
Yeah, I noticed Perkins before. I called her name and I thought, hang on, I thought she was injured, but when you're in a semi-final and it's on the line, there's little more than 24 hours left in the season. You make do with what you can do.
You dig deep.
You can put yourself on ice for a few months after this one, no problems. Perryman finds Reeve. Reeve with a big bullet looking for Kathleen Kershaw, who is fast but not fast enough.
Looking here.
And again, that diagonal formation. So Ray, a very adept thrower, can move it laterally or in the hallway very comfortably. Takes the easy option. We are back to Carpenter. Perkins is about 50 metres deep so far. Watch her come under from the right of screen. Owens wide. Kershaw putting pressure on her. Ruiz. There's one look upfield. Being forced to throw that high side. Mandy Lee provides that down the line option. Winds up. She's looking for Maddie Owens. Owen and Kershaw underneath it. Owens has position. Goes early. Locks it in. Two hands. Too easy.
Too easy. And we saw there that diagonal stack almost looking a bit like a zipper. Players peeling off left and right, giving the up the line option, giving the lateral option, and then the player behind being able to run forward to give that kind of direct option.
Yeah, it's a well-coordinated set play designed to really dig you out of that, really out of that corner where you can't really go backwards or sideways. Oh, you can only go sideways one direction. You can't really go backwards, so you're left with about 90 degrees of angle to play with.
It's also good for initiating movement. You give a player a position, you give them a cut that they have to make, and you know that they will make it at the time that the disc is checked in.
Kershaw was just left without a play on that disc at all as Owens got that front position first and held it. Score is 5-3 to Rogue. Kick over, getting close to 23 minutes in. Game moving at a fast pace. Warman. Big gainer finds Wentworth. Wentworth's got a Harriet Peel about 30 metres deep, but can't get the throw out. Anderson. Warman takes the shot, looking at that front corner. Into the lap, off the cutter.
Sliding in on her knees to collect that disc.
Sarah Wentworth.
Made it look effortless, but that is a difficult thing to coordinate there.
Wentworth usually more at home around where the disc is, at the rear of the offensive formation, but every now and then just likes to sneak forward and get her name on the stat sheet.
I mean, also responding there, if you look back and you see there are a couple of people with the disc, being able to move yourself down into a dangerous position is vital for a team, to be able to have that flexibility in your line.
Manly with the offensive hold. Precision throw by Warman, just enough to be out in front of the defender. Comfortable enough to Wentworth to get two hands behind it. 6-4 the score. Daniel.
Yeah, the walking wounded continues. Nobu Kasuya for Rogue is also playing today. She didn't play the other day.
Yeah, I reckon we just noticed that at the same time then. We noticed she's kitted up, got the jersey on. Could be a handy addition late in the game if needed. Edgar and Carpenter take the easy meters. There is a zone look here from Manly, so they've got numbers at the back. It's a 2-on-2. A few players go up in scenario.
Ground strip, unfortunately couldn't get control of it.
That's a launch. Not afraid to put her body on the line. Reeve. Itoyo. To Shires. Nice little U-turn by Reeve there to get open. Only looking forward, but there's a pick called. Reeve's nearest teammate, it's probably Shires, is about 18 metres lateral over, and then upfield, no one within 20 metres. Just that's how confident they are in her throwing abilities, that she'll comfortably make up any required distance and more.
A paddock of space there at the front as they quickly discuss what happened in the stack and what count the disc will come in on. But yes, everybody streaming deep as they saw Reeve receive that disc. I think figuring that she would like to put it long.
Keep an eye on Bomadiri. We go back to the wide shot. She's at the top of screen there. She'll attack this open space for that big crossfield shot, and it's too much put on it. Just out of reach for her. Edgar tries to do a similar thing, a big crossfield shot. Also not a clean throw. Reeves unguarded. Short up the line to Shires. Shires looking infield, finds Barnes. Barnes has to wait for it, but has the time. It's easy as you like to Longley. Quick dish to Reeve. Reeve to the numbers advantage. Two players there, and Lacey Moore's gone early, and I think that was Bomadiri also coming across. They didn't quite see each other, and
turnover stands. Rogue have another opportunity with the disc here.
I think everyone was worried they might have hurt each other, but as soon as they saw that, well, here we go, and this is the stoppage we thought would occur. That
injury call there.
Yeah, the injury was called by. Well, I think everyone was just waiting to see if there was called, and Edgar thought, well, if no one's called it, the disc is still live.
Yep.
But
sometimes it takes a couple of seconds to register what happened after a hit like that.
I think initially Moore thought she would have been fine, but I think as soon as she stood up, she realised actually the adrenaline's worn off a bit. I'm not as fine as I thought I was, and Wentworth comes on to replace her. But still, Rogue's disc, 64 from goal. Bree Edgar there on the far left.
Edgar signalling downfield about what she wants once play has resumed.
They're just going to have a quick discussion with the game advisor there to work out the correct positioning and where the disc should come in on. Yeah, definitely options over the top. Finds Ryan over the top of that Manly defensive wall. Ryan just goes for the quick shove pass, but beyond the reach of Pigeon. Reeve again with no one really close to her. And Bubs they've caught legs and tangled, and Bubs landed on top of Itoyo, and Itoyo, she's fine with it. Doesn't.
Just checking the disc there as Itoyo did land on top of it.
Yep, it's going to quickly test it out, see if it's still flying true. I think they're fine to play with it as is.
Giving it a quick bend.
I think that, like, the ruling is that unless it actually is gouged or broken, they should be playing with it. Like, if it's bent, you just play on. But if both teams agree that it needs to be switched, it'll be switched, but they're going to stick with it. Tayo wants to reset to Reeve. Reeve has a quick look up the line, but wants to reset. Wentworth, unguarded, puts a bladey forehand up. I knew what she was trying to do there, but not enough forward momentum on that throw, and it's just dropped about, probably about 7 or 8 metres short of what she wanted to do with it.
She is throwing into the wind there.
Yeah.
That having a real impact as the wind gusted up, not allowing it to kind of get enough height.
I think it's the second she let go of it, she realised, oh no, that's not what I wanted. She was trying to hit Reeve, who had a few steps on her defender.
Not a great feeling to have the disc leave your hand and know in that moment that it's not going to go where you wanted it to.
Meanwhile, Raya Carpenter likes that throw out of her hands. Is sitting up. Where's got to fly? She's got it. She's maintained control. Quick dunk to Yeep. Yeep has a look back. No one getting free for her. Eggers just said, throw it out to me on face marks, but Wentworth had eyes in the back of her head. As soon as that throw came up, she was able to turn and knock it out of the air. She quickly gets the under. It was a good long look upfield, and there was, it's like Yeep felt like she got a hand on that, but Yeep's called a foul. But I think, see what happened. Yeep was calling a foul on herself. She definitely chopped Wentworth's arm, and Wentworth saying, well, the throw's completed, so no.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it to stay where it is. So play resumes. Itoyo, nice one-handed grab there. Looks to fire it into Bombarderi. She had to put a bit of spice in that throw to get it upwind, and I think Bombarderi is expecting a softer one. Edgar. Over the top to the advantage of Bub. Carpenter, she's free. She wants to send it, but no one's moving for it. So it's the Wea. Wea's got Pigeon long. One out with Longley, but Pigeon heads under instead. Great high catch there. Looks back, wants to get to a shorter thrower, and a little bit of biff there, but Heap deciding not to call that one as Reeve picks it up and just throws a speculative shot for territory.
Into the ground, unfortunately.
I'll tell you, it was heading that way. Daniel.
I've got a quick score update for you. The Ellipsis train is doing well in its journey for its 5th national title. They took half 8-1 against GWS.
Ooh. Looks like pretty soon they'll be able to come and scout this game for what looks like will be their opponent tomorrow. And that is not a clean hand block. Shires straight away acknowledging the foul. She's seen new Raya Carpenter like that mid-release backhand and was ready for it, but just a bit too eager on it.
Yeah, looking here at Rogue, possibly needing to clean up the space a bit. They've got a few players in the lane.
Yeep finding space. Weir under plenty of attention from Reeve. Flips it up field to Priscilla Scenario, but a pick was called at some point in the stack, but I'm not sure whether that affected Scenario's run at it. So I think it's going to stay there, and I think it's just Longley getting a chance to catch up to her defender. He starts on the line. Not many options available to her. She just has to send it. Kayo Weir with Holly Weaver at the front. And Weir's come...
Reeve holding position there in front of her, forcing Wire to go up and reach it over her head.
I think Reeve just gave her a little wave to say, like, he did foul me, but it's a turn anyway, so we'll leave it go. Wentworth having plenty of time. She's got Itoyo free on this near side. Itoyo looking centre field now. She's got Bombarderi, but there's not enough separation, and Shires has spent it before she earned it. Was all ready to look for the lateral, but fumbles it out and gives Rogue a shot. 20 from goal. Carpenter. No one's moving for her. She's having a good long look. Still can't stay away. She puts the long backhand up looking for Weir. Weir's going to have to go early. Well, Reeves had to go early, rather. But Weir just it was just thrown to her advantage. She was in position. Takes the clean one-handed grab.
It was a beautiful shot there and a beautiful takedown by Weir. Edgar choosing to pick the disc up there when most of her players were behind her on that turn. Interesting choice, but has paid off for Rogue.
I think the move is she just wants to get the offense, while they've got the wind at their back, just wants to get the offense moving, get the disc down to that right side of the field out of any trouble. Daniel.
I just wanted to talk quickly about the athleticism of the Rogue team. There are some unnatural athletes out there. Maddie Owens is one, Kayo Weir another, Simone Ryan. The athleticism on display, impressive.
They're certainly a club that trains hard and finds that advantage. They've got a 7-4 lead.
That is huge at this point.
But never, ever, ever write off Manly.
No. 3-point separation. Rogue will be happy with that at this point.
Got a slight zoney look. Forcing the lateral throw from Warman. Finds Chen, back to Warman. Perryman. We think we know Manly going to want to send it deep-ish for this one. With the wind at their back. Tupper. And sea of white jerseys in front of them. Lacey Moore's got space. You might be able to see it just to the top right of the screen there if they can get it over to her. Tupper sees her, but can't find a gap through the middle. Bullets it wide to Warman instead for good advancement. They're 30 from goal now. And Lacey Moore, you can see her just drifting down to the bottom right of the screen now. Perryman sends it wide to Warman, who's gone long. Takes it early. Barcham and Owens couldn't do enough. She sent the nice floaty throw up, and it's gone to Chen. And Chen fumbled it out of her hands, but was then collected by Perkins on the way through. So Chen right to call fair, because she potentially could have had another go at that if Perkins wasn't there. Yeah, she definitely heard her coming.
Yeah.
But
you can see her bracing there, turning her cheek as she heard the incoming player.
Chen, they're having a talk with other players just to decide their perspective. Steve Baker, the game advisor's down there, just listening in for now. Only there if...
I'm not convinced that you'd completed the catch before the contact occurred, whatever contact might have happened.
But even if I could have caught it if I hadn't been run into. That's kind of my...
Okay, so that's a foul rather than a strip.
Oh, sure, okay, yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What?
We contest it. Yeah, foul contested. Foul contested.
Contested. Last throwers die. Over there.
Yeah.
As we just heard there, some clarification on the difference between a foul and a strip.
Yeah, so a strip's when you have possession of it and it's knocked from you. A foul is just contact in any other manner. Contested probably the right outcome there. They can't quite agree on versions of events. We got to look at a replay, and even we thought we're not sure what's in that. So it's right to send it back to the last completed throw, which is Di Warman still with it. Tupper sends the ball up. There's a few numbers there. A couple of plays underneath, and Hannah Chen this time didn't need a second go at it.
Not
That's her second goal in that corner.
Not letting that one go, even though there were several Manly hands trying to get a grab at it, as well as Rogue hands.
Bit of a heavy fall there from one of the Rogue defenders. That's not Perkins, is it? Might be Perkins. She's
That is Sarah Perkins there.
Yeah. As we say this, yeah. She's was looking for Warman. It's gone over the top, and Chen's just fifth in the line. We've seen, we talked about earlier that Perkins was been carrying an injury into this tournament, but amazing what the adrenaline of a knockout game can do for your physical condition.
That's it, realizing that you could be in medal contention here with this game, deciding who goes to the gold medal match and who will go on to the bronze medal match.
Both of those games taking place tomorrow.
So we saw Rogue come down there with a zone look, one mark, two in the wall. That wall being really dynamic, looking to block lateral options or force to one side, kind of adapting to whatever they thought the worst threat was from Manly.
Yeah, they sort of really adapted based on who had the disc. Thought if there's someone who we know likes a long throw, they really flattened it up, or if a weaker thrower, they'd try and take away the lateral option. Edgar now. Manly just running a match defense. Weir. Reeve putting a bit of pressure on. And he keeps it low and flat. Barb Edgar now has two goes at it. Wants a long in the end zone, sends a long backhand up, looking for Simone Ryan, and she's done it. Edgar with the long winding 45-degree angle. That covered probably close to 35 metres of distance. Could not have been better.
A beautiful throw there as Rogue take half. Rogue 8, Manly 5.
It's been a wild and windy last couple of points. The wind has picked up again, and we saw some very steady offense and defense from both teams early, but now they're really starting to go, all right, well, we've had fun. Structure gives us something to talk about at training. All we need to do today is have 15 good throws and 15 good catches.
That's
it. Great throw here to a good catch. And Ryan, that tall, standing at about 6'2", I think, was a tall target. We're going to throw down to Dan Clinton, who's there with Sarah Perkins.
Sarah, great first half. You're up heading into it.
Yeah, I think we obviously lost our last match up against Manly, and we started from being up, and I think for us it's all been about trying to maintain our momentum, and it's okay if they score. It's just about that's cool, we'll move on to the next point, and that's something we've probably struggled with over the course of this tournament, so we're really trying to have a fresh start, and I think it's really paying off so far.
All right, thank you for your time. Good luck for the second half.
Thanks, mate.
Back to you, Simon.
With that halftime break, we're going to take a short break ourselves. We'll be back with the second half in a couple of minutes. Kayo Sports coverage of the Australian Ultimate Championships from Canberra. Dixon District playing fields, hosting Australia's best teams, and we're down to the final 4 in the women's division. Here we have Manly and Rogue, both out of Sydney.
Another Sydney derby. We saw these two teams come up against each other in pool play yesterday. Daniel from the sideline.
I have an update in the Ellipsis game, 10-2 the score. They are looking great. Chantel.
Just a quick chat with Manly. They have 2 goals coming out of that halftime chat. The first one is to put a more straight up mark on to prevent the long shots. And the second one was to keep being their best selves, because that is the lifestyle they've chosen, which was a great mentality to live by.
Certainly is there. Manly keeping their heads up. This can be a really difficult place to come out of mentally.
Yeah.
Down at halftime, 3 points is not unwinnable.
Absolutely not insurmountable. If they can put this offensive point in, it's only 2 goals. And we've seen Manly come back from worse. I wouldn't be... We were just discussing among the crew at halftime what we think, and all of us are like, no, this is far from over. Warman puts it out to the advantage of Wentworth. Bommanderi. Reeve. Di Warman's gone long. No one's been able to follow her, and the throw's gone over her.
Arcing back in towards the centre of the field there, away from Diane Warman.
Both teams vying for the right to face what we're pretty sure at this stage is going to be Ellipsis, and Manly faced them in the 2019 Championships final, and Rogue faced Ellipsis in 2017 and 2016. So both of them desperate to have another go at wrestling the championship from them. Barcham. Lots of long cuts, and Carpenter.
This could be the chance that Manly needs, well within their red zone.
Felt the heat from Kershaw, and Kershaw's going to be the end of the goal as well. Fantastic cut. She moved back towards the top side of the field to drag Carpenter with her, then chop stop, planted her feet, headed back the other way with the clear advantage, and Warman made life very easy for her as a thrower. Just a nice soft touch throw straight into her lap. And that's the start to the second half that Manly would have wanted.
Yes, it is a lovely one-pass offense there for the score.
Took 2 possessions to get there, but they would have just wanted that one in. So we see, well, yeah. So we see just drifting towards the middle there. As soon as Carpenter turned her head, stopped paying attention, bang, hit that front corner.
Edgar with the D and the score there.
The double stat, what a play. So now it becomes about defense for Manly. Do you think? I think Rogue will keep looking to shoot heading downwind. It's no sense changing the strategy that's given you 8 goals already.
There's not. And looking at Manly, they were just pointing and allocating defenders. So I think they're reading that. Yeah. And I think they will look to match person to person here.
It was nearly offside. That definitely was offside, but I think Rogue will just play through it as it's landed around about the brick mark anyway. Chung. Nice little advantage throw to Bub. Ewan. Got a couple of tall receivers there. Can't get the clean shot out. Heads inboard there to Janacek. Yep, Chung, and get caught in 2 minds there. Disc or line. Can't pay attention to both. You've got to go one then the other.
It is, and the disc drifted out there as Manly get another offensive chance.
Shires fires it inboard to Moore. Moore at centre field. About 40 from goal. Not too worried about a 10-second limit. She's comfortable directing traffic. That would have been high count. Itoyo leaving her feet to get underneath it. Shires has gone over her head. She thought she'd have time to have a second goal, but Ewan straight onto that. She read that beautifully. Edgar's taken the shot. Barcham's had to turn blind. big dive.
As the wind picks up that disc and pushes it further into that corner.
They are very, very difficult. As soon as you turn your head, you've lost sight of where it's going. You're no longer tracking it. And yeah, she turned and just threw her body at it, hope for the best.
That's it.
But it's put Manly back on their heels again. 60 from goal. Shires to walk up. They've run with that vertical formation, and Lucy Moore, you can see at the front of their number 10 dead center of the screen, just sending instructions on who to cut and when. Longley, wonderful break throw to Itoyo. Having a sharp look upfield, finds Moore. Moore's got a couple of players drifting deep, but no one really charging. And the high stalk count now, she's going to have to do something. And yep, she stalled out, couldn't even get the disc out of her hands. Wonderful marking from Edgar there. Eunice Chung winds up the forehand, got Simone Ryan at the back of the pack there. That's through her fingers, and again we're seeing those shots that come from bottom to top just drift away over the head of receivers.
Yeah, the wind gusting up quite strongly now as those long throws are just pushed to the far sideline from where the camera is.
The other natural aspect that's happening now is you're having to look into the sun late in the day. You can see the shadows sort of heading away, which means when they're looking up at those throws, they've got to try and deal with the mini eclipse happening in front of them. Shires fires through the middle of the Chang, who is just waiting there for that exact shot. Shires pumps along, hoping for more, but finds Cardi instead. But a pick's been called. This one's gonna have to come back. Happened a couple of passes ago, so it's almost certainly gonna come back to Shires. Moore asking everyone if they're absolutely certain of that. And getting nothing but nods in response.
As the disc moves back, the players will find their positions as close as they can.
You saw, yeah, it happened right in the middle there. There was a bit of a crossover between a couple of players. So they'll reset to their best approximation of where they were about 7 or 8 seconds ago.
Really hard, especially once there's been another throw, catch.
Yeah, and you'll see the one-on-one opponents, they'll just have a look and go, what do you reckon about here we'll do? Yep, sounds good. Let's not work any harder than we have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shires, another inside forehand shot. Monica Chang. Nice bid there from Ewan. Leaves Shires unguarded to throw. She wants Hannah Chan is going to have to do some work. Can she go? And she's, well, looked from here like she's done it, but
yeah, the angle we had here looked like she might have had that one in her hands.
for those of you who are watching the last game, I espoused a bit of a theory that I think there's an uphill slope towards that end zone, and that's why we're seeing throws just out of reach.
Yeah, just a very, very slight incline.
That could be me just looking for anything, looking for excuses. A huge shot up the line into the arms of Ryan, but there was a call made behind her at the time, but the fact that she's dropped that, usually you've got the outcome of the throw needs to be confirmed before you make a call, but
yep,
I'm not sure what's happened there. So yeah, the turnover will stand.
Call being retracted behind her there.
Shires has picked up to resume, but before she can even look upfield, there's been a pick, so she'll. It's a quick restart that time as no one really moved, and another pick called. It's starting to get a little untidy, the offense, as everyone starts to move a bit more desperately. Daniel, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm watching down here. Both teams are just getting a bit tired, and there's lots of stacks running, cuts running through the middle of the field where the stack is, and that's what's creating all these picks.
Yeah, rather than having the discipline to move that extra 10 metres on that arc and get that space there.
Trying to drag their defenders through the stack, which is unsafe, and the defenders have the right to call the pick when that happens.
Yeah, straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. When there's multiple intersecting straight lines, we have problems. So Shires still has the disc. She's got no teammates within 15 metres of her. So you'd expect probably a Toyo there. You can see it closest to the screen, come back for a reset. Instead, Longley is the one that comes lateral. And Shires gets her arm chopped on that throw.
Uncontested foul there.
Yeah, Georgia Ewan agreeing with that. So let's see what happens this time. I suspect we're going to see Atoya. You can see dead centre of the screen, surrounded by 3 Rogue players. She's going to head up that line. And Barb was all over that one. Manages to get a knock on it, almost straight into Atoya's outstretched hands, with a good read on the play by Shannon Barb. Ewan's unguarded underneath there, so gets the easy forward pass. Barb also unguarded, and she's got, as long as she wants, without a defender there to count the stall, she can take her time and maybe had a little too long. Simone Ryan had to have 2 goes at it. On this challenge from Lacey Moore. Nice little inside shot to Ewan. Pops up to Edgar. Edgar about halfway to goal now, and I think there's another pick call, but Shy's sort of limping a little bit. No, she's sticking with it, but
Hands on knees.
yep.
This has been quite a long point, a few turns in it.
Legs really starting to burn. Edgar not quite within shooting distance just yet. Chung decides that she is. Looks for Ryan. Ryan's going to have to do some work. I think this is going to drift out the back.
It does hit the back of the end zone there.
And Chung kept that low, kept that really flat, which meant it didn't get caught with wind underneath and drift away. So shots getting taken towards that end zone really have to have that characteristic about them.
They do, going with the wind.
Yeah, you want to keep it flat so it doesn't get pushed away. So as Manly walk the disc up to be 64 from goal, we'll check in with Daniel.
Score update from the far field, 13-3. The Ellipsis train is currently running over GWS.
Oh, 13-3.
56 minutes on the clock thus far.
I think GWS might have invested all their energy in getting up over Factory earlier today. Very hard to have 2 games like that in a row. Itoyo. No one coming towards her, but Cardi finally finds some space underneath. Gives her a reprieve. This time Cardi tries to throw it out to the advantage of Itoyo, but she just had to jab step to lose her defender a little bit, and Cardi didn't see that one coming.
The throw went a little wide. Cardi cutting a long way up and back on the field there to gain that separation from her player.
Edgar's going to target Barksham here, we think. No, it's covered. So Chung's had to go up the line. Cardi comfortably reeling in that one. But she's caught that intercept, so she has to take it. She can't just drop it down, let someone else do it. So heads inside, finds Itoyo, who gets another nudge. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit more of a chat here to say, right, this has happened a couple of times now. Let's just be more careful about it.
Yeah. Part of the rules on non-contact is trying to avoid contact, which can sometimes mean pulling out of a contest.
Meanwhile, Charles is taking a shot. It's Ryan versus Cardi and Moore. And Ryan's come down with it, but foul's been called straight away. Ryan's contested it, saying, no, I've had that clean. Let's take a look at it. There was a few numbers underneath it, and yeah, I mean, Ryan did everything she could to avoid contact. There might have been some that we just can't see in that shot, and they both. Cardi had her position and went straight up, so if there was any contact, she did have the right to that disc, but looks like the call's been retracted. And the intercept stands Barcham unguarded, so still there's plenty of time. Moves it to Chung so she can head downfield herself. And the run through D from Cardi that time. Ryan had to pull up and wait for that disc to come to her, and that's never a spot you want to be in. Shires, 45 from goal. Looks up, nods. Itoyo getting the touches in the last few points. Up line to Shires. Shires winds up the backhand. No one quite moving there for it. They have got numbers on that top left side, but floaty throw's gone up. Bub's got the intercept, but Shires is... Yeah, we hear Georgia Ewan uncontesting that.
Foul.
Yeah, we just see a little smack on the forearm just as that throw's let go. And it's not much, but it's enough to alter the angle of the throw and make it pop up like that. So there we go, another one, but a shorter version. So was able to find that one, and hopping a little bump there from Shannon Bubb.
Little discussion there.
So player will stop, it'll come in. More, no easy resets available, so has to go forward. Cardi up the sideline to Utoyo, is just owning that space on that top sideline. Easy reset to Chong, unguarded. Fakes one way to move the defense, heads back the way it came from. Moore launches the hammer to where they've got numbers. Few players underneath it. Simone Ryan coming through. But Taylor Cardi.
Beautiful take there.
Camped underneath it. Uncontested catch in the end, really.
Opening up that field. Manly being forced to throw a lot from the centre line over to that far side of the field. The Rogue force really strong, trying to trap them there. But that hammer just broke that all open. Let the Manly downfield players come to that open side.
Yeah, you can see all 6 of the 7 defenders there on the screen on that top sideline. Just meant that they had numbers out wide, and a big strong hammer throw into the wind. Difficult, but can break the game open. Chantel.
I definitely want to give some extra credit to that throw. Not only is a hammer a difficult shot to make out, but that was also upwind. Daniel, what do you have to say?
Bookie tickets, Ellipsis are in the final, 15-3 the final score on the far field. Perhaps a 5th in a row.
Oh, we have our top 3.
Ellipsis continuing undefeated at Australian Ultimate Championship Games. Now we just have to determine whether it is Manly or Rogue who will be coming up against them in that gold medal match.
That'll be live here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you're not on Eastern Standard Time, that's pretty much bang on 19 hours from now.
Only 1 point in this. Manly having clawed back 2 points to bring the score. Rogue 8, Manly 7.
So 2 goals in a row to Manly to make it interesting. That pull is going to drift out of bounds. Gus picking it up at the last minute over the line, which gives Rogue an automatic start at the 44-metre mark. See, designated by the large cross on the field. So Rogue have set themselves up in a horizontal set, really trying to isolate Kayo Weir, number 27 there in the purple hat. And off she goes deep. Carpenter wanting to send it her way, but can't find a clean option. Looking to reset. Weir charging underneath. Covered a lot of territory on that run. Carpenter this time pumps it long. Weir has done the work. Numbers underneath. Weir's going to have to outdo a few, but Janacek waiting at the back. Pops it back up to Weir. Weir having to pop a couple, and Reeves saying, you've travelled while you're bobbling that. And I agree with her. But Weir saying, well, I didn't have control and had set a pivot foot. So.
Yep, so a good discussion happening there.
Yep, so the travel has been called, but so stoppage is still Weir's disc. Of course, you're not allowed to deliberately bobble the disc to advance it. Carpenter. Blady forehand, and Kathleen Kershaw saw a flash of white, stuck the mid out.
Threw her hand over her head. I think I heard her sideline urging her that that disc was coming and she needed to turn her head and look at it.
Looked like an expert block in the end. Yeah, camera crew getting a great shot of that one. Wentworth going the big lateral forward to Tupper. Tupper's got a cutter very, very deep, but She's not within shooting distance. Reeve is within shooting distance. This time she's got Abby Chang. Ditches the hat to get a better look at it.
And unfortunately, travelling too fast in that wind heading downfield.
Yep, had committed early to laying out. And it's good habit to think if you've made the decision, do it anyway. So then you won't have to think about it next time.
That's it. Laying out, a skill that takes a lot more mental skill than physical sometimes. The mental kind of barrier of throwing yourself at the ground can really inhibit some players from wanting to do it.
Yeah. When the stakes are this high, you're just going to have to do it. Plenty of numbers underneath this one. Weir, too good. Position well, went straight up in there. She's bombed the long throw. She's got, who's that? That was Pigeon. Pigeon's come underneath and collected it off her toes. And all of a sudden, they've gained 50 metres upwind. Janacek. It's a 45-degree angle and a big layout bid there from, I think that was Lamb. But a pick was called in the stack, but the fact that Lamb's saying, well, I've dropped it anyway, so.
Do we let the turnover stand? They do.
Turnover stays as is, and Manly have the disc 64 from goal. Let's get another look. Brenda Lamb. Good reaction. She hoped it was going to go further away from her so she could just run it into that corner of the end zone, but died short, so she had to throw it. Lateral throw by Holly Reeve has been picked up by the wind. Sailed to no one. Janacek, quick reset. Carpenter. Everyone forward of her. And Angela Pigeon.
Very free.
As doing the work at this point. So we think that's going to go back to 2 passes previous, that pick.
Yeah.
I think that happened as Pigeon came out of the stack, so she covered a fair bit of territory there, good 25 metres.
It does explain why she was unmarked for that cut out to receive that disc.
Yeah.
But Rogue looking at this vertical stack as they move closer to their end zone. 3 handlers back, 1 with the disc, the other 2 there to provide reset options.
Manly defence really want to push them to that high side, trap them on that sideline. So they take what they're given, but advancing territory while they're at it. Brenda Lamb sends it up over the top, and Holly Reeve gets a swat on it, but Kayo Weir
takes the grab, reaches her hands out and says, I don't care if it's wobbling in the middle of the air, I want that disc.
The composure to stay there and think, even if Reeve gets a fingertip on this, I need to read it off there. And terrific shot there from Lamb. She's followed up her own pass there, Weir, and there's a cut coming under, so the throw had to go up over the top. Reeve did well to make a play on it and just slowed it down enough for her to drop it right in her lap.
Yeah, difficult there, but good job to Reeve for reading that disc and managing to get a finger to it. But it's always disappointing when you get the touch and the pass is completed anyway. Daniel on the sideline.
I just caught up quickly with Maddie Owens from Rogue, one of the captains. The COVID times have created some weird stuff. She is technically a rookie. This is her first Division 1 Nationals.
Right, yeah. There you go.
Amazing then to be coming out and captaining a team on your first time at Div 1 Nationals.
Doesn't look a step out of place.
No, she doesn't, as Rogue lead Manly 9-7.
Barsham has got the 9-9 on that one, and that's going to drift backwards. It's going to land out of bounds, and Barsham cheekily asking if they want the brick, which would lose them 25 metres of field position, but Manly saying, no, thank you. We'll just take it where it went out. Of course, you're not obligated to take the brick. So Shires saying, yes, I will take it out of bounds. Simone Ryan also asking if she wants the brick option. Shires pumps it up the line, looking for Warman, but not enough on it.
No, that arcing forehand, a lot of angle on it.
Yep, trying, really having to give it a lot to go upwind, but nature denying her that one.
As we can see, Rogue here isolating a couple of players in the middle.
Sean finds Ryan having to adjust the course a little bit as Bartram was heading out. Owens straight through the middle, and Bombadiri will try and claim 2 defensive blocks for that one, but she'll just get the one. Warman. Shires. We're going to start to see these two be involved a lot more as the game ends its final phases. Warman's slung it up, looking for Barnes, but that's Janacek getting in front.
Beautiful block there from Janacek. Getting up, getting a hand on the disc and pushing it safely out of the field. But Nikki Shires and Di Warman have been playing together for quite a while.
Almost 20 years, probably longer.
Incredible connection they must have.
It's a real fine art to sort of knocking the disc out of bounds, because the advantage of that being just gives you cutters a bit of time to rest. Throw goes inboard, but Barnes with the clean intercept. Moore. Swings a couple of options, under no pressure yet. Finally gets a marker come on. Warman. Looking into the corner, a lot of traffic heading that way. Shires moving up line, trying to get into that space, and she reaches out with the one-handed grab for Manly's 8th goal, and they remain in touch.
Like we called it just before, that beautiful connection from Warman to Shires there.
It looks like we're still going to be here for a bit longer. We're not seeing a lot of action on that second field over there, so we can assume, we know that that's semi-finals done. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I got told that earlier.
Yeah, as Manly close the gap.
So we're really just here to work out. He'll be playing off for gold tomorrow morning.
A lot of traffic in that front corner, trying to cram it into that tiny space in front there. And Di Warman patient enough to wait for that traffic to clear and wait for an option she liked.
Shires really held back as well, didn't really cut into that space till as it was clearing out, and she would have just given a quick verbal cue on her way through to say, yep, Di coming through. Di didn't even have to turn her head. She knows that voice, she knows where it was coming from, and
able to make that connection.
Yeah, pops it up over the top. We'll definitely see those two involved more. We'll see Wentworth start to really get in the action there. Reeve with the disc ready to pull. Wentworth just next to her. The Rogue offensive line.
Quite a crowd.
A shorter rotation themselves. We'll probably see Simone Ryan and Kayo Ware play. And Raya Carpenter as well, playing most points from here on out. Sean Carpenter. Takes the time, finds Ryan. A few cutters heading away from her, not many towards, so it goes back to Carpenter. Finds Weir. Weir's got Ewan over the top if she wants her. Has a good look. There's just someone to come towards her. Ryan comes underneath. I was going to say, Manly is sitting a loose player out the back, which means Rogue's always going to have a free player underneath if they can coordinate it well.
Yeah, recognising that poach, or when a player has come off their mark defender.
Natalia back to Reeve. Reeve heads wide. Hannah Chan having to get low. And she copped a knock from Ryan on the way through. So she's tapping the head to indicate that she will take the injury sub.
Yeah.
You see here, definitely accidental, and just getting her legs tangled up, and Ryan did everything she could to avoid the contact, but still clipped on the way through. So they're just working out if she actually caught it or not. So if she did secure the catch, then whoever is subbed on for her will retain possession. So obviously we've got the luxury here of seeing that, it looks like, no, she had that. No? Okay. They're saying turn? No. Steve Baker's in there. He would have got a good look at that. Obviously we've got the luxury of a replay. The players not necessarily.
Yep.
So Di Warman's coming on. I think they're going to let the turnover stand. I think maybe Chan admitted she didn't have control of it.
Yeah.
So So good spirit by her. Chung having a look at a lot of real estate upfield. Ryan putting it up over the top, looking for Weir. Weir and Reeve, that battle again. Weir again.
Getting that point, and Rogue are loud and on the field, getting around her.
And celebrating now. They've got their 10th goal and plenty of vocal support on the sideline from other Sydney clubs.
Yeah, Sunder, having finished their games, are sitting there watching amongst some others.
So you see that throw just to Ryan's lap in the air. Kayo has come in and she's got Holly Reeve facing her, so she's got the disadvantage of not knowing where the disc is or when it's coming up. Just has to go in reaction only. She did well to put pressure on it, but we just had that step and there was enough power on that throw to be to her advantage.
And we are powerful off the mark there. As soon as she decided that she wanted to go and get that disc, really powerful movement out to create some separation from Reeve as well.
So the score's 10-8 to Rogue. Rogue still having that offensive advantage by a goal. As we are playing, I think, about a 4th point in a row. I haven't seen her on the bench for a while. Oh, huge floaty pull. I think that's probably going to drift out of bounds, but that was some terrific hang time.
It did. The Rogue defenders were able to get down there and would have been able to interrupt those early passes.
As Di Warman takes her time walking to the brick mark. Daniel.
Just really quickly, Eunice Chung, Simone Ryan, both playing both ways.
Yeah. Eunice Chung getting a lot of touches, and she's been the one to get offense started most times, the one picking up the disc or getting that first pass. Warman just sends it looking for Wentworth. Wentworth in a sea of Rogue jerseys. So only has options over the top. Not keen on throwing them, and has gone short to Warman, but I'm not sure what happened there, whether it's gone to ground, whether there's been a foul call.
Looking at the game advisor on the other side there, it looks like that is a foul call.
See if we can listen in.
As the players have discussed what's happening.
I think they're just going to agree to disagree. Usually it's around about 30 seconds where game advisors will come in and say, look, if you have
contact on the throw. On the throw, okay. So if it goes back, it'll be an uncontested foul here. Oh, okay, before I made that one. Yeah. Okay, and if it, okay. So you can either retract or it'll be an uncontested foul. I do think you had to push him out. Okay, that's all right.
So I think there was an offensive foul by Di Warman on Simone Ryan, and also defensive foul by Sarah Perkins on the thrower. So Manly will retain possession. That's why the discussion went on for a bit longer. They were working out both, but the priority goes that the later foul gets resolved first. And that time, the shot fired through the middle, doesn't find its target. And Rogue get a shot straight away. They found Ryan. Ryan winds up the backhand. Everyone's streaking past her. Not many options available on the reset. Owens points it out, says put it there and I'll run it down. Lamb. And a good long look downfield, heads laterally to Weir. Another pick's been called. And of course, with a number of players there, each having different ideas on where the open space might be. We're going to see a bit of crossover. Weir retains possession. Winds up the backhand, not a clean throw. Owens has to double back.
A little bit of wobble on that one, out of the hand, as Manly get another offensive chance, this time having to work it up the full length of the field into the wind.
Fantastic inside shot, finding Wentworth. Wentworth's got cutter going long, but opts to go work laterally instead. Perryman sends a bullet of a gainer to Warman. Warman sends it up the line. She's got Wentworth all in a row. Can she run it down? But throws died late.
Wentworth with an incredible chase there. Gaining metres as well, forcing Rogue then to work it up, backing the Manly defence.
As we tick towards 80 minutes on the game clock. 100 minutes being the time cap. If the rate goals have been scored in this second half, Laura, I think we'll get to time cap, so that 15-goal target likely to be reduced. We are right on the sideline, straight through her hands. Wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout called soon, probably in between goals, maybe. I wouldn't see Manly calling one now.
Manly with a chance in their red zone.
Perryman sends it up the line to Warman. Warman has a look upfield to see if that was to someone else. She wasn't sure if that was to her or not. But
yeah. Just signalling back to the thrower there that to settle and to look to the reset. Look to move it into the middle of the field where you have a few more options than trying to cram it down that sideline.
I think Perryman had seen the last couple of throws to that corner die in the wind, so really put a bit more on it. Chung sends it up. It's over the top. Warman, easy intercept, sorry, Wentworth. And she's put that into the ground about 5 minutes in front of her. We're seeing...
This has been a long point and a long 3 days now. Fatigue almost certainly playing a part in some of these decisions.
Both teams playing their 8th game of the weekend with the 9th to come tomorrow. Chung really wants up that back end. Wants a lateral movement, but no one really moving there. Lamb finds space inside. She's got Ryan short, unguarded. Lamb just has the high stall count, so just has to send it. And Kayo has run it down. A few hands being waved. I would suggest Owens has caught the goal, but it's not going to count.
There is a stoppage back upfield from quite a while ago.
Yep, Holly Tupper calling the stall out on Lamb. Lamb nodding, saying, "Yep, she got me." So that's going to head all the way back, Daniel.
There's a technical term in exercise physiology. They call it the wall, and I think both teams are hitting it at roughly the same time.
Both doing their best to charge through it, but the wall's winning today.
They are. And an interesting note is that the Manly defenders on that far sideline are jumping in front first to stop those big throws down the line, then moving around to contain the throws to that sideline. And we can see it working so far. No big hugs, but lots of consistent small passes right on that sideline.
Yeah, they've definitely worked out the order in which Rogue make their decisions and where they look. So just making them hesitate, putting additional pressure on it. And just like that, we end up with the 10 seconds running out. So they're going to go back to where they were when the stall happened. Then Tupper attacks this to restart, and it's as if there's a turnover on the spot. So teams will now jog down the field to restart. Warman's going to pick up this for Manly. Will she shoot early? Moves laterally to Wentworth. As always, they've got numbers on this near side of the field. They can work it this way. Perryman has more short, but waits for a better option. Finds one in Barnes. Barnes looks back. Wentworth. Wentworth's got Warman for an easy one. Tupper attacks the corner. But having seen a number of turnovers there, I think Warman saw a call first happen. I think there's been another pick. As we talked about, cuts now happening in straight lines rather than arcs or V's as we normally see. So
yeah, that fatigue setting in and players not wanting to sort of waste the effort.
Yeah, taking the path of least resistance. Wentworth. 10 from goal, another pick. Players, I think, relieved to take the rest whenever they can. So Sarah Wentworth, centre field, 10 metres either side of her. Barnes Lots of shimmy shoulder fakes to get her defender off guard, and she's found Taylor Cardi.
Lovely work from Manly there. We saw them using the full width of the field, really working to break the mark and bring the disc up to the high side, continuing further forward with another fantastic breakthrough to keep it on that open side before that score there.
Yeah, we saw a couple of throws earlier in the point, or even all day. They're just heading to that top front corner of the end zone, just die in the wind, and so they've got the discipline. It takes effort to really work it out to this bottom sideline, but when you do, you've got the numbers out there. Defense is on the move, and Barnes, yeah, found Cardi.
Yeah, and it also takes experience to take the time to wait for that reset to come, to have faith in the people who are bringing that reset for you, and to know that they will get free and give you the lateral option.
When you've got a thrower of the calibre of Sarah Wentworth to give you those crisp lateral throws, certainly a luxury. 9-10 the score. Daniel.
I just spoke quickly with the injured Bella C from Rogue. I asked her what she would give to be out there, and she said nearly anything. She is dying an ugly death on the sideline, you know, wanting to be out there fighting with her team. It's not to be, though.
Huge point for Manly here. Got the wind advantage. The Rogue with offense. Ryan free in the middle. Reeve coming in, and the throw's too low for her. Reeves picked it up quickly, looks early to the end zone. Wants to put this one on the scoreboard, but no one's moving for her. Has to send a long, loopy lateral throw out of Toyo to clean up the scraps. Finds Reeve up the line. Reeve has one look at the bottom side, one look at the top side. Heads lateral. Moore getting both hands underneath it. Finds Bombaderi, back to Reeve. Cuts coming one at a time. Monica Chang in the end zone is just directing traffic. She's just stay put and just giving verbal instructions to cutters to move one at a time. And Otoyo has found space in that front corner. And Manly have pegged it back to 10 all.
What beautiful work from Manly there, continuing to show that they can use the full width of the field to their advantage there. And Otoyo really critical there in getting that first cut and then immediately darting back into the end zone, ready to receive that score.
You can see just in the center of that end zone line, Monica Chang just was talking the whole time, just directing traffic, keeping her teammates motivated, keeping them moving, but also making sure they weren't making any rush decisions. So the experienced head playing a pivotal role in making sure all her cutters had space. And as we see, Otoyo sort of ran that give-go, dished it off and then took off to that front corner. Daniel.
Simon, Otoyo's been absolutely critical in Manly's resurgence in this game. She has been every second pass, sometimes really reliable, coming towards the disc, getting the offense moving.
She has been. She's also had a great ability to keep an eye on where the disc is. We've seen a few other Manly players stream past the person with the disc not looking, which means that the person with the disc can't initiate that movement, then being forced to wait. But Otoyo always just glancing over her shoulder just to make eye contact, and that's allowing her to get those throws.
Very smart play from a smart player. As we tick over, approaching 90 minutes.
Timeout called there as the scores come up to even 10 all.
Both teams still exuding lots of positive energy. They're enjoying themselves. It's fun.
It is fun, and it's a great thing. It's a real culmination of a lot of work and effort, of trainings, of competitions, especially since last year's competitions unfortunately called off. This weekend is really kind of the pinnacle of what these girls will have been working towards for quite some time.
It's the late afternoon Canberra wind picks up.
Really gusting now, left to right.
Rogue still with just that single offensive advantage. They'll receive this pull, throwing downwind. So, should, in theory, it just go to offensive goals every time. Rogue have the advantage here. Manly to take a true lead. Really need one more break. Pull goes up, fielded by Chung. Carpenter. Lamb. A few cuts coming towards her. She puts a high one up for Ryan, who gets a finger underneath it, but got a bit of an arm chop. No contest there. It'll stay with Ryan. It was Taylor Carty who was underneath her, but a few players moving just a bit too quickly. We think it was Brandon Lamb who took off from behind the disc there, eager to fill that space. Angela Pigeon one out there in the centre of the field with Shires. Watching her movements closely. Shires positioning herself at the back of the defence there. Finally dragged under. Janacek takes the opportunity to have a shot. Numbers coming underneath. The Weir was coming in hot. Have a quick chat because there was a few bumps, but no call made. Turnover stands. Reeve moves it quickly. Nikki Shires. Taylor Carty all on her own, off to the left of screen, but Shires doesn't get able to get the clean shot off. Forward to Reeve. Reeve has to go early. Carty's come underneath it to keep it alive. Belts it up the line to Wentworth. They're on the doorstep now, 5 metres away. Plenty of cuts heading to that corner, but Wentworth just wants a clean one. She's put a bladey throw in, looking for Amy Barrs coming across.
A lot of hype here. The sideline's getting really vocal, a lot of extra voices. It's super critical right now for all of the players to retain their composure with the disc, to really settle themselves, to weigh up the best option and not get kind of sucked into the hype and the tendency to throw quickly and try to move too quick.
Just wanting to get the point over and done with. Sometimes you need to move more. Lamb moving at pace. The throw's been put over the top. Weir, 2 goes at it, taps it down to herself, and even has time to fix the hack. Carpenter, 35 from goal. Looking deep, looking nowhere else. Reluctantly looks back to a reset. Chung wants to wind up that back end down the side. Weir taking her time, wants to have her full measure. Carpenter works up the line, but Lamb's there filling that space. Been marked by Reeve. Sends it up the line into the end zone, but we may have had another stall out, perhaps.
There is a conversation there where the disc was launched.
No, foul on the throw. Here's the call. Lamb thinks that Reeve made contact with her during the throwing action. Reeve contending that she had that space. We'll see if we can listen in.
To stop, and then you moved into me. Because I don't think I moved my leg into you, you know what I mean? Sure. That's my perspective. Okay. We can ask for clarification if you want the rules, or? So I think I just distracted. Okay, I'll test. Yeah. Yeah.
A retracted call there as Reeve explains that she had not moved and that Branda moved into her initiating the contact.
Yeah. So good they had that chat to work it out. Holly Halford-Smith was there just to listen in. She was there to be asked, but in the end, Lamb retracted her call. Itoyo again finding that space under the disc. Lacey Moore having to adjust her path. We thought they were going to go down the line there looking for Reeve. Lacey's got nothing lateral, only has to go forward. And went very short to Shires, but copped a little bit of a clip on the way through. Actually, I think Simone might have bumped her on the throw, and I think that's going to be an uncontested foul, which would mean that the clock's reset for more. She now has another measure of full 10 seconds. Heads wide, but straight to Kayo. And Simone Ryan won out, but thought, let's get a bit more territory first. She's run out of time. She's absolutely belted that downfield. Pigeon reacted to it. She's gone that short throw. Ryan having to come forward. Moore getting a hand to it. Has knocked it to ground. And cross pass there. Players waited to see if there was going to be a call, but neither player has said anything. But I think there might be now. They've taken a breath and thought about it.
Yep, asking the game advisor for their perspective there. We might be able to listen in. No, as Steve comes back off the field.
So yeah, the turnover will stand. I think they just wanted to have a chat first. Just Simone Ryan just asking Baker for his perspective to see, did he think there was anything in that? And Baker said that the throw, the outcome was probably already determined by the time they met. But again, another turnover the other way. Carpenter. Pick called in the stack.
Calls from the sideline to clean it up. Players are allowed to adjust their position on this pick call to try and prevent further pick calls.
So they feel they're about to collide with someone straight away. Chung slings the back end out to the side, and Ryan's chased it down. That's the shot they've been looking for. They've finally found it. And Rogue maintained that advantage, 11-10.
A looping throw, that one. Ryan having to follow underneath it until it came low enough for her to grab.
The clock ticks towards 96 minutes. Dan Clanton, we're in for another thriller.
We are at that, Simon. Eunice Chung, I don't know how she's done it, but normally it's people taking fireworks out of the ACT home. This time she somehow smuggled that cannon of an arm across the state lines.
Look at this race, Australia. She had that lined up. She saw Ryan had positional advantage, and Ryan's run more underneath it and then trailed it out to reel it in. Chantel Jones, what are you seeing?
Yes, I spoke to Rogue just after their timeout. They discussed playing their own game, focusing on what they know best and not getting too worried, and you can definitely see that in that last play.
It's very hard to resist the urge to try something new to gain a lead, but Laura, why change what's been working for your previous 10 goals? Just work at it.
That's it. Resist the urge to kind of get a bit fiery, maybe shoot some things you normally wouldn't, but to really regain your composure and settle yourself into the disc, make good decisions, do the basics well.
Perryman to Reeve, 40 from goal. Short to Moore. Moore's got Warman on her at the end zone. Ware's there to contend, but overcooked the throw.
That throw pushing, curving back around towards the camera there.
Daniel.
Laura, speaking about composure, Holly Reeve, one of the most composed people to perhaps ever play the game. The pressure's even getting to her. Her throwaway in the last point, heard a loud exclamation of disgust.
From herself? Right.
Yeah, difficult not to feel that, especially with somebody as experienced as Holly Reeve.
Kayo had to go large for that one. Warman there to pick it up straight away. Reeve wants to move laterally, takes the inside shot. She's put a bullet. And Moore just had to go. She wasn't sure where that was intended for, but thought if I can catch it, I will. Chung. Played many points in a row, throws up a jump ball, and Hannah Chen swipes through, accidentally collects Perryman on the way through. Reeve looking to stand and deliver, no reset available, doesn't need one. Kershaw, Warman, 30 from goal, points, slings. She's got Chen with the advantage, but that's going to drift too far for her.
Disappointing there, as Rogue will work it up again, starting from that corner. The breeze consistently blowing now.
Of course, our game clock up the top there. not the official clock. We're expecting the siren any minute. I can actually see the officials about 100 metres away walking out with the siren, so we could very well be in time cap soon. There we go, there's the siren. So this goal will be completed, then our score target will be set. Ryan looks upfield, everyone moving away from her, no one moving towards, so she sends it up to Weir. Not enough forward power on it. Another turn. Reeve to pick up, 35 from goal. Puts an inside shot looking for more. I think she initially thought she wanted some lateral movement, but no one moved there for her. Daniel.
Yeah, talking about players playing both ways. Chung for Rogue along with Kaya Weir now joining Simone Ryan. They've been savage the last couple of points. For Manly, it's Di Warman, Holly Reeve and Lacey Moore.
We can see Rogue here setting up in their formation.
A diagonal formation, Carpenter, but unguarded. Has a good long lock upfield. She's got Chung, up for Ryan.
Just too low into the ground there.
So the story, if Manly score this goal, it's sudden death, goal to 12. If Rogue score it, it's game to 13. Either way, Rogue still with the offensive advantage. Manly need to put this one in and convert a defensive block. Reeve, all cutters 20 to 25 metres away from her. Now they come under. Perryman, they just want to sling it. They want it down there. They want it out of here and warm, and it's bounced off her chest. She's looked away at the last second. Chung takes her time walking towards it. She's got Maddie Owens deep. She's got Simone Ryan deep. She wants to send it. Owens comes towards her. Ryan's going to have to go and collect this.
And I heard Holly Reeves' hand on that disc as it left.
So a big chunk of that one, and timeout called by Warman. Players absolutely exhausted, Laura. Another barnstormer of a game.
Yeah, another really close one, showing just how tight this contention has been around the top 5 women's teams. Ellipsis maintaining their top spot. Factory, Rogue and Manly fighting it out for 2nd through 4th, but that nail biter earlier between Factory and GWS, enough to edge Factory out of that top 4.
So we see Manly on screen there. A few players rugged up. They are done for the day. This is going to be the top liners trying to bring this home for them.
This timeout pivotal. We were seeing there that some of the formations, both offensive and defensive, get a little bit loose, get a little bit messy as players tire and sort of their mental energy is drained into other things. So this will be a good chance to reset, remind them of what they need to do, and just go back to basics. Do the basics well.
Chantel Jones was listening in on Rogue's timeout there. What was the message?
Yes, so they are going to be setting up a very structured offense, looking at possibly a 2-3-2. We will then see some hopefully match defense.
And Daniel listening to Manly's.
Yeah, it was Di Warman doing most of the talking there in the Manly huddle. Very calm voice. I noticed that she wasn't very animated, clearly looking to settle her team a little bit here.
Yeah. Of course, younger players will look to the leaders and look to their reactions, their language, their mannerisms, and if the leadership shows composure, that filters throughout the whole team.
Does, and Diana Warman, definitely enough experience there to know that what she said would have an effect on her team.
Perryman having to wait for that one to get to her. It's put them back well in their own end zone. She sends it forward. Hannah Chan, couple of stumbles, finds her feet. Pivoting around like mad, has to put it forward. Monica Chang has just landed that one in bounds. Carpenter saying on the line, everyone close enough. She's asked the sideline for a few opinions, and it's a classic situation. Rogue saying we're in, Rogue saying out, Manly saying in. If we can get another replay of that. That wasn't a replay, that was just Monica demonstrating her movement. Let's have a close look.
And the sideline camera here.
She's taking the catch, so she's definitely got it. Where does she get her foot down?
The back.
Yep. Tarsal looks well inbounds. But they're still discussing, obviously. They can ask for other opinions. Steve Baker there with an opinion.
Okay.
I don't have a great perspective. What I can tell you.
Sorry, can I hear from the game advisor?
What I can tell you is the front foot was on the line. I don't know if it was first hit the ground.
Yeah, well, that's what I think too. But if it... That's fine. We're going to call it in then.
Yeah. So Carpenter happy to listen to other perspectives. They've called it in. Of course, we can see on the replay the players, they are allowed to ask us, typically don't. But that's fine, that's within their right.
It is quite a new addition to the game, the filming.
Yeah. Warren with a great catch, couple of stumbles, so travel called. Ryan calls her back, play continues. Looking at the end zone, so now looks lateral there. She's got two options, but Ryan's got the clean block on that. Eunice Chong picks it up. She's got Owens and Ryan deep. We are drifting deep. She sends it up the line, and that's Ruiz who's caught that inbounds. Right, her pivot foot right on the line. She's going to have to look lateral. Chong, plenty of space. Pumps it up. She sent that into the air. That's going to drift way too far for Ryan. Good choice. I really should have gone. Really should have taken the easier shot to Owens there, I think, but saw also Ryan with the advantage up the back there.
Yep.
Saw that replay from Ruiz. That was also a clean one, but
There was a pick in the stack there, which is why they've just held on to the disc for a little bit longer, but I think they determined that it didn't affect that throw.
The outcome of the throw stands, and the throw was out of bounds, so.
Manly with another chance here.
So Perryman to restart right in the corner, 64 from goal. Monica Cheng is streaking deep. A shaky lateral throw there, but more raids it in. Another shaky throw, it's gone high. Hannah Chen has collected it. Breakthrough game for Hannah Chen, doing plenty today. Reeve out of reach of Warman. Also out of the reach of Perryman. These lateral throws just not as tidy as they once were, Laura.
No, they're not.
We're in desperation stages now. We still have to complete this goal to determine what our score cap is.
We do. You can see both teams here gritting their teeth, fighting through it.
Owens. Where? There's heaps of numbers on this downside. She can get it that way. Puts the hammer over the top, looking for Owens. Owens gets a hand to it.
The sideline is disappointed by that one, as is Owens, but the hammer coming in upside down, a difficult throw to catch at the best of times, let alone over your head, one hand outstretched.
And an hour and 3/4 into a semi-final game. Like, let's add as many caveats to that as we like. Big 45 angle throw. Weir eats that one up. She's still got numbers on this near side. Goes short to Chong. Chong facing a sea of black, but pings it up for Ryan. Ryan was just not ready for that one at all. They've just given each other a quick wave to say sorry about that one.
Ryan signalling for everybody to settle down, maybe slow play down just a little bit.
Warman wants that inside shot, and Raya Carpenter with the run-through block. Sorry, Shannon Barb. Raya Carpenter's I'm looking at to pick up the disc. She's got options on both sides of the field, but picks the one through the middle. Madeline Owens with the captain's goal.
Captain's goal there. That means that our score cap is set at 12.
At 13.
At 13, sorry. Rogue sitting on 12, Manly on 10.
So the equation from here, Rogue need one goal to be a finalist tomorrow. Manly need 3. Daniel, can they do it?
We might try and get Daniel back a little bit later, but this is huge for Rogue. They've got a lot of support on the sideline there. They've got a lot of bodies out in front of their line.
Both teams having a lot of support here, with Manly's men's team competing in Division 2 this weekend over here supporting their club mates. And Rogue having plenty of support from their fans as well. It's getting late in the day. The temperature has dropped, Laura.
Yes, it feels like in the last 10 minutes we've dropped about 10 degrees. The players looking out there with intensity. We can see sizing each other up.
This rundown from Rogue is going to set the tone of the remainder of this game. They need to lock on early. They cannot allow Manly to get easy territory. Weir sends it up, long, low, flat, with an aim to pin them back in their own end zone. Reeve. Steady early throw to Shires. Shires wants a lateral. Reeve. Everything coming towards her, nothing heaving away. Shires gets down below it. Wentworth. Also to the ground. Everyone's streaking away from her. Atoyo can't get free. Shires. Barnes with the lateral has to wait for it. Steady grab in the end. Shires content just to take meters as they're given. Reeve. Centre of the field. Halfway to go. Atoyo has a look at the end zone. She's got Wentworth. Manly keep the game alive.
That is huge. What a clean run from Manly there. String of passes together, willing to work it laterally, willing to work it up the field. Beautiful connections.
And full credit to Nikki Shires for that one, for controlling the tempo of that offense. Dan.
Yeah, there's a very, very old saying, opportunity is a virtue of misfortune. It's also known by a more pithy phrase, embrace the suck.
Yeah, but Barnes there, a really level head on this near sideline, making a really clever decision to move that disc into the centre of the field, take the reset, rather than try and force an option that perhaps wasn't there yet.
Nitoyo. Having made close to 0 mistakes, you can afford everyone a few errors today on an occasion like this, but Atoyo has been clean, the star of this game for mine.
She's certainly proven that she has the skills with the disc and also downfield to create great options for her handlers.
Got more. Reeve, Warman, Bommadieri, Atoyo, Wentworth. Cardi on the line for Manly. They must get this block. They have the wind at their back. Barcham fields a pull. Keeps it low and flat. Carpenter. Got Chung with her. He's played continuously for about the last 50 minutes or so. But has shown no signs of fatigue at all. Carpenter fights Pigeon. Receives it back. Huge long throw, and Reeve has got the block. She's got her hands on it, picks it up, quickly flips it to Taylor Cardi. Unguarded at the moment, takes her time. Reeve, no resets at all, has to throw forward, and the pick's being called. And that's just as well, because she would have been up to about 3 or 4 seconds and had no option but to take a shot into traffic.
Not a lot of options coming towards her, which is, in this wind, makes it hard for the person with the disc.
I suspect we'll see Warman or Perryman, the two front Manly players there, come out for that reset option. No one moves. She's going to have to shoot. Atoyo bails her out as always. And a pick call by Carpenter, just having to pull up to avoid the collision, but the disc will remain with Atoyo.
Toyo bursting forward out of that stack, getting the step on her defender and giving the Reeve the reset she needed.
About 12 metres from goal, but she's got to look at both the top and the bottom side. Looks at Wentworth. Wentworth can't get free. And Weir's got a block back on Reeve. One each to that point.
What a great matchup Reeve and Weir are.
Two future superstars, or current superstars of this sport. We'll be hearing their names for many years to come. Chung doesn't look at Ryan. Barcham with the lateral cut. Huge layout grab to secure two hands underneath it. Continues lateral to Weir. Weir's got not many coming towards her. Bub charging. Taylor Cardi going full stretch. Can't Weir. Shannon Bub throwing it. A pigeon has to come in. And the throw's died short with Di Warman right there to see it to ground. And
there is a call.
There is a call.
A foul call.
Foul on the throw. Oh, I did wonder why it didn't have as much forward power on it as it should.
So looking back here.
So you see Cardi, I think she just got a bit too eager to reset that mark and get across. And
still getting her balance back after climbing up, after taking the layout, trying to get the block.
So it comes back.
Uncontested there.
Shannon Bubb close to that top sideline. Goes to the reset, miscommunication there, but Weir read it out of the hand. Inside shot, Barcham having to go again. Can't rein this one in. And Manly get a shot. Another possession. 55 from goal. Moore. Toyo free, but followed by Ryan. No resets for Moore, has to go forward. Reeve comes in to bail her out. Bomadiri. Warman. Sarah Wentworth, 2 goals in a row to keep this game alive for Manly Ultimate Club.
We can hear the sideline go up there. We are at another Universe Point game here, Simon.
12 each. Sudden death. Next goal makes the final. Daniel.
Yeah, the conditions are completely different now, Simon. The sun is gone almost. The wind has completely died down and the temperature is plummeting.
It is, as we can see, I think a timeout having been called. Timeout by Manly called there.
Moments like this is what really makes ultimate players. If you can hold your composure in a game like this to send your team to a national championship final. Both teams calling their lines here. Chantel, what was the message there?
Was just about to repeat what you said. A couple of really big line calls out here. We've got some of the best players in the country on this field.
Yeah, both sides taking that full timeout just to choose. And Daniel, what did you hear?
Yeah, Di Warman calling the line. She's actually subbed off.
Ooh.
Asking for volunteers who's good to go. So
that is leadership.
Atoya and Moore and Reeve and Wentworth, the ones that have been savage.
And we're in play. The crowd has built up. Chung feels the pull. Short to Barcham. Gaining the easy yards. 44 from goal. Weir cutting across the field. Wentworth on her hip. Barb also lateral. Weir can't hit her. Finds Maddie Owens and it's too far.
The disc is down. That's a turnover. Manly now with a chance at offense.
Manly have possession. Shires picks up, slings it up the line to Reeve. Catches it. She's got a couple of options long. This time holsters it. Everyone moving away for Atoyo heading towards her. Atoyo, Wentworth. She's got Cardi long. Doesn't like it. Heads lateral. Shires. Continues to Reeve. They've got numbers on this side. Reeve takes her time, fires to Atoyo, who's come through the stack, was picked, so pick happened some time ago, so it'll go back to Reeve. The Manly cutters all standing 20 metres deep, just backing Shires and Reeve to hit them. All spread across the field. Plenty of one-on-one battles. This disc is going to come in on stall 4. Reeve will have just over 5 seconds to make a choice and get the throw out. Takes a long look upfield. Wentworth fumbles. Cardi collects. 2 metres from goal. They're right in the corner. Shires. Free option there, Kathleen Kershaw. She goes over the top of Manly. You've done it. Taylor Carney with the winning goal. And Manly are through to their second consecutive final.
That is an amazing end to an amazing game. Manly crowding the field, jumping for joy, through to a gold medal match against Ellipsis.
3 goals in a row to end that game, and you can see the whole club celebrating.
That is a wonderful come from behind story. Never give up. Strung those passes together, used every turn.
What a game, what a day of ultimate we've had here. And we're going to throw down to Daniel Clinton is with Nikki Shires.
That's okay, Nikki. Congratulations, you're through to the final.
Thank you very much. I don't even know what to say yet.
It looks like you're a bit speechless. Massive fight back. What spurred it?
Being Manly. This is it for me. This is it. This is my team. I've been with them forever, and I wanted this more than anything, and I think they all did too.
Congratulations. I'll let you get back to the girls.
Thank you so much.
Well played and good luck for the final.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Simon.
Oh, I'm done, Laura. I'm out of energy after the day of ultimate we've had. So many close games.
3 universe points games there, wasn't it, Simon?
Oh, so much sudden death today, and we've got 3 games for you tomorrow on Kayo Sports. Your Kayo freebie continues into Monday. We're going to quickly throw to Chantel Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a cracking day of ultimate frisbee. Some of the best ultimate this country has ever seen.
Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Well, it's not over yet. We still have 3 games tomorrow. We will be watching the women's bronze medal match first up, followed by the women's gold medal match, followed by the men's final. Is that correct?
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be here on Kayo Sports tomorrow.
We'll see you then. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
slowly and gradually, I realized it's about love. It's about you. It's about your passion to do what you want to do in the moment, in the now. This is not time. This is eternal. I want to see the world where the global heart is awakened. That is what team I'm on. It's not too late because it's all about how you think. Wouldn't you want people to encourage each other instead of judge each other?